Hey, good morning, everybody. It is day 9, and I am super excited for day 9 because today we're going to talk about a very important stretch here, a little exercise, and this is the one that got me into mobility. We're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. Let's just get everybody tagged up so you can see the notification that we are going live. It's a little bit, about a half hour after we've been going live here. So for those of you that can hop on live, as always, hashtag live down in the comments so I know you're here and you're watching. And then if you're catching the replay, make sure you hashtag replay so that we can keep track of who's showing up, doing the work, and getting the most out of this 30-day challenge. Just finishing tagging everybody up. Looks like we got awesome. Jerry's on. I got a hashtag live from Jerry. Perfect. Let me just scoot my phone down so it doesn't fall out of this little device I got it cradled in, this little tripod. Stay right there. Hang on. That should be better. All right, perfect. So the fact that we got a hashtag live from Jerry means that we are live and that you can hear me. So let's get after it, because today, like I said, this is a really big day. This is the exercise, well, this is a version of the exercise that got me into mobility, and this was introduced to me back in 2011. I was working at a golf shop, and we had some spare time, and the assistant pro I was working with had asked, hey, do you ever work out? And I said, no, I have a bad back, and every time I go to the gym, I'm behind the 8 ball, you know, I'm hurting, I'm sore, can't move well, it hurts my game. He's like, come here, I got to show you this thing. And so he showed me this stretch, and this stretch relieved most of the tension that was on my lower back and just completely changed the way that I look at the golf swing and look at mobility and fitness and really the whole world. And it got me to where I am now. So I'm excited to introduce to you a version of that exercise that accomplishes a very similar effect. But before we can talk about it, we got to get to it. So let's go through the majority of the power warm-up. We're going to be on day 9. We're about to do 9 of the 10 components. But let's get going. Knee nice and high. Grab that forearm. Hand and foot circles. Coordinating the hand and the foot so that the fingers, toes are all going together. We switch sides. Remember, we're squeezing as hard as possible in the forearm without it being painful. Now, I was playing around last night, and this one is absolutely brand new, but I was thinking, how can we make this even more challenging? I know that for some of you, balancing on one leg is already a challenge enough, but for some of you, this isn't a challenge at all. So how do we make it more challenging? Close your eyes. And so I was doing this last night, and it's like, okay, well, to balance on one leg and close your eyes, that's one thing. But then to do this and coordinate the hand and the foot, this becomes very difficult. Whoop, there we go, almost falling over here. So this is something I know I'm at least going to start to incorporate into my own routines, is closing of that eyes. What a great addition into the power warm-up. All right, let's go into our shoulder circles, pushing down into the meaty part of our shoulder and neck area. If you push down up here, it should feel like a marshmallow. If it feels anything like a marshmallow, if it feels like a firm bone, that's a muscle knot. We gotta work that out. And it's gonna be tender and it's gonna be sore until we just keep working on it. And that's the idea. Consistency compounds. 5 one direction, 5 in the other direction. Perfect. Switch sides. Ooh, that one feels good right there. Went to TopGolf last night. Got a good amount of swings in. That's always a fun time. And as those of you that have been following along know, this left shoulder, I sleep on it, so it always gives me a little bit extra trouble. But that's okay. That's what we're here to work out. Right arm across the chest. We're pushing it away from our body. Our hand is open, fingers pulled back. We can add some rotation, but we're just slowly going up. Awesome. And then back down. One more time up. And back down. We're breathing the whole time. Left arm, we're going up. And back down. Right there it goes. I don't know if you guys can hear that with my microphone being right there, but my shoulder will click in that spot. There we go. Just working it through. Perfect. Divers presses. Both arms out, right arm on top, palms together. We're going up top. We're pressing those hands together. We're pressing pretty hard. We're reaching the fingers up into the ceiling. Our core is engaged. Our butt is tight. And as we're pressing, we're turning those hands back and together, and big sweep down and back. This time left arm on top. Same thing. And always remember, everybody, you get out of this what you put into this. The more you push, the more you breathe, the more you focus, the more you're going to get out of it. And it's about working through those places of discomfort to get to the relief on the other side. Okay, straight into our flip downs. Chest stays tall. Remember, the moment your chest collapses, you'll lose this stretch. Good, feeling good today. Do about 5 more. And then we're going to turn these straight into our toe touches and sky reach. As we go down, we push our hips back and stretch out the back of our legs with soft knees. As we go up, we squeeze our butt hard and lean back slightly. We're getting the hips to hinge, we're getting the butt to squeeze, and this step is incredibly important for what we're about to do in step 9, because we need our butt to squeeze to make the stretch we're learning today effective. So we need to do this one as much as we can, or as much as necessary to get the butt to squeeze. So if you do 5 or 10 of them and your butt's not really squeezing, do another 10. If it's getting a little bit better, do another 10 until you can feel that butt contract. Super, super important. And you'll find again that the butt contracts in the top. It's going to be very difficult to make it contract in the bottom, although not impossible. Okay, side bends. We're driving that elbow up. We're leaning to the side. We're breathing. And we exhale. We switch it up. We go to the other side, working the underside of the arm, the lat muscle, the triceps. Switch one more time. And then we go into our trunk twists, side to side, turning into our hips, making sure that we feel a nice stretch in the hip. If it causes knee pain, we know that we're not doing it correctly, or we just need to soften our knees. It should not cause pain in your knees. After a few of these, we're going to bend over, open those hips up, knees stay out. By keeping your knees out, this turns into a hip stretch as well. We wanted our butt to squeeze from our toe touches. We wanted a little bit of rotation in the hips from these, because now we're at component number 9. This is the new stuff. This is one of the most important exercises and stretches that you can learn, and I want everybody doing it all the time. Even if we're not doing the power warm-up, this is still just an essential stretch on its own. And here's how it works. We're going to start by bringing our right knee straight up. Now the key is bringing it straight up. For most of us, it's going to feel comfortable for our leg to come out and around. Okay? We don't want that. We want the knee straight up. And you'll find that you probably can't pull it up as high. If I come up and around, I can get this knee really, really high. If I bring it just straight up, it only comes here. But it's putting the hip joint in a different spot, and it's working different muscles. So we bring this knee straight up. We're going to hug it, and we're going to slowly pull it close into our chest. Now, I just want you to pull it to the point where you start to feel that resistance. And then once you're there, hold your knee in place and push your leg away from you for 3, 2, 1. Then pull it a little closer, and you'll find, hey, I can go a little closer now. Push it away from you. 3, 2, 1. Pull it a little closer. 3, 2, 1. And now we can send it behind us. And these muscles right up here in the front of the hip, they should be fired up right now. Okay, these are the hip flexors, and this is what we're working on stretching. So we're going to get into a split stance. Okay, my feet are about a foot width apart, but they're split. Now when I split, my body's going to want to open. My belt buckle's going to want to open. I don't want to let that happen. Belt buckle stays pointed forward. We're going to get squared up on our foot. Don't let your foot come down this way. It's going to want to do this. Put that heel up in the air, get onto the balls of your toes, stretch out the bottom of your foot. So belt buckle is square, foot is square, push that heel down and push the heel backwards. At the same time, squeeze your butt and push the hip forwards. We're going to feel a stretch in the front of the hip, and you may feel it in the lower part of your back. For some of you, you may feel it in the front of your thigh. All of those are okay. Now, to add a little bit more intensity, we can take our front foot and get off the heel. So now on both feet, we're standing on the toes. This is a little bit more advanced. If you need to, just keep your front foot down. And then we're going to, holding this stretch, raise up with our right hand because our right leg is the one we're stretching. So right leg is back, right arm is up, and we twist and we reach and we just hold. So I'm pressing my heel into the ground, I'm squeezing my butt and pushing my hip forward, I'm reaching and I'm twisting. There's a stretch going from my arm down the side of my body, focusing right in here in the front of the hip. I'm feeling it a little bit in my lower back, feeling it down through the leg, and then we relax. So about 30 seconds to a minute, and then we're going to switch sides. Left knee, don't bring it out and up. Bring it straight up. Hug it, bring it in close. You're going to start to feel some resistance, and then holding it there, push it away from you. 3, 2, 1, bring it in a little closer. Push it away. 3, 2, 1, bring it in a little closer. Push it away. 3, 2, 1. Then we can send it behind us, split stance, square up the belt buckle, push the heel down, square it up that foot, and then we reach up. We're focusing on balance, we're focusing on breath, we're focusing on activation of the butt, and we're focusing on the stretching of the hip and a little bit in that lower back. The lower back you're going to feel especially as you add this reach and twist. We're trying to get these lower muscles of the back, these quadratus lumborum, or QL muscles, if you will. If we were a cow, these would be our tenderloin. But we want to get those stretched out. They're usually overworked from bad posture. Okay, so what happens is if we sit all the time, our pelvis arches, it tilts, and it takes these muscles in the lower part of the back and shortens them up, and they become very, very stiff and tight. Now we want them to be stiff and strong, but not stiff and tight. So when we start to stretch them like we're doing it right now, you're going to feel that. But we want to stretch them out so that we can regain our ability to pelvic tilt. Okay, very, very important to be able to maintain good pelvic control in the golf swing, because that's where most of our power comes from, as it originates in the core. With a braced core and an aligned pelvis, we can use the ground to create and transfer energy into the club. And if this is not aligned properly, if we have this big arch in our back and we go to do the same thing, well, when that power goes from the legs through our body into the club, some of it gets lost along that way, and it usually gets lost through the back or in the hips or in the knees, and that's what creates a lot of friction and a lot of discomfort. So that is our Samson stretch here on day 9. Just going to refresh my screen here, see if any questions came in. I always appreciate the questions that come in from all of you. That's the whole point of this group, is we want to. Awesome. Breathing definitely helps when it feels hard. Yes, Suzanne, 100%. That is the most important aspect of all of this. And we're going to dive a lot more into the breath work side of things after we've learned this entire routine. So this was day 9. We have one more day to learn the final component. And then as we're building the habit of doing this routine over that final 20 days, we're going to start talking about breath work and how to incorporate breath into the power warm-up. Because when we tie power breathing in with power stretching, we're connecting the mind and body together, and then we get a result that's greater than the sum of its pieces, if that makes sense. So it's really, really exciting when we start tying in that breath work, because it's only 5 to 10 minutes, but you'll be done and be like, wow, I feel better than when I just woke up this morning from a great sleep. And that's one of our big goals as well, is to wake up each day on the right foot, ready for whatever life is going to hand at us. And that's the true meaning of mobility, the ability to go anywhere and do anything at any time. Let's see if any other questions have come in. Don't see any yet, but perfect. We're running a little bit over. I'm trying to keep these to 5 to 10 minutes. As we know, they get a little bit longer each day because we're learning each component. Tomorrow's probably going to be the longest one, and then once we know everything, we'll be able to just jump in, and the routine itself will take 5 to 10 minutes. Anyway, I appreciate you all being here. Keep showing up on these lives, hashtag live if you're here live, and then hashtag replay when you're catching the replay. I'll see you all tomorrow. Move better, play better.